Well, I know
Oh, sorry. I
who's
was
going to
sleeping.
win, but I don't have enough time to talk about
Okay.
it. We're going to the game.
What,
Good luck,
James?
boys.
What do you mean you're sleeping?
It was like listening to a podcast.
Yeah, you're sleeping. You're sleeping on the
monologue.
nights.
That was fast.
I told you.
From 300 feet away, we saw this. 300 yards, rather. Okay, so that's what happened. Rodolfo scored off kickoff.
And that's why
How
I
am I
like
supposed to see? It was like watching Rocket League playing by ants.
Well, I kind of want to play top down now. Can we get a Lethamir top down mod when? Top down aerials would be awful. You never know what's happening. I like this start though for the Knights, and I'm sure they do too. Yeah, they've got honestly some pretty good heads up on their kickoffs. That's definitely not like just an unfamiliar thing for them. I've seen them score on teams a lot off kickoffs though.
Now, kickoffs are a very important part of your game, not only to know how to win kickoffs, but to have plans. Oh, how is this finding its way in? Sean Stackhouse must have a crystal ball.
I think it's just that miss there was honestly a bit critical, but it's the speed. I told you, I think the Knights will just come up with enough speed that Space Station will be caught off guard at the beginning. I don't think it'll stay like this.
You're right. I mean, the kickoffs, and again, that's a good kickoff for the Knights. Oh my goodness, they are destroying them off kickoff.
I told you, I've seen them do. You got to watch the Knights grid. They do this to people. The kickoffs are always usually pretty strong.
We're not even a minute in. The Knights have already scored 3.
That is a lot of goals for 40 seconds in. And there's another one. They're getting a little more privy to it though. I don't think Space Station, if they know, okay, if we're getting beat, let's at least have a plan.
They're gonna just start faking kickoff and letting it roll back.
They get possession of it, yeah. And you got to do something.
It must be Lando. You know, every kickoff, he's got a whiteboard app up in their Discord call. He's writing up the play.
It's honestly not often you get whiteboard plays because Rocket League can be so reactive, but kickoffs are one of those places you can come out with a setup right off the bat because you have that fixed positioning.
And Space Station playing from behind. This is a huge mound to try to get over. Already setting up yourself for a 3-goal deficit in that first minute. But if Space Station can score one here, oh, that would have been the chance. The demo on the goal line was there. And that's a huge part of Space Station's game, is getting those demos on the goal line and almost scoring there. Tons of good saves from the Knights there on the goal line. That was a quality chance, multiple chances for Space Station.
Yeah, that's something. Another thing I've seen a couple, here and there, confusions on defense. It was something with that old roster that seemed to be more of a problem. Bringing Sosa in has definitely helped them, I guess, position a little bit better on defense. So it's been a lot stronger. There are holes, and SSG is likely to find them. You saw them get physical as well. At that one point, they were looking for the demos. They're just trying to find something. You want to open up at least that first goal. You don't want to be shut out for too long, especially after a start like that from the Knights. I'm sure SSU will eventually find back in net, but the Knights so far, some pretty okay defense. Two minutes left. All they have to do is kind of just make sure no goals go in. They don't need another goal. They just gotta watch Space Station struggle to put one into the net. And they're still struggling.
It's not looking good for Space Station right now. The Knights, those kickoff goals completely changed the face of the game. Once you score those 3 goals in that first minute, you can be very defensive, but Sipical's cracked this game wide open. Now, plenty of time left on the clock. The double tap, Sipical, that was so good. And you see the proximity that Space Station will be working with in a lot of these situations. It was very close. They're very close to one another, but Sipical didn't miss a beat. That was a great setup from Reynolds on 0 boost and a better follow-up from Sipical.
I think that's something we were seeing, as a lot of the scoring attempts from Space Station in this first game here have been honestly pretty straight on shots. And I think that's something they realize, all right, this isn't going to work with with the Knights defense right now. Get in a lot closer, a lot tighter, like they know how to do. And it's a lot more difficult to stop a close double tap like that than it is a shot straight at the net. The Knights still have a 2-goal lead though, so I mean they're still comfortable, but they don't want to let off, that's for sure. Nice slow defense or offense. The back and forth, never jumping for anything crazy. It could be a shot in though. It is. Arsenal found someone. I thought someone was home, but I guess they weren't.
And this is the passing coming out. Arsenal, a deadly player. You get the ball up to him. When he's up leading the charge, you never know what he's going to do. He very easily could have, gone for demo, and that's why you always have to be extra timid when you're playing against Arsenal. And it was a quality shot, good pass from Spacestation, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them get back in and win this game.
Well, something I want to point out, James, that you mentioned might happen here, good save, was they lost that kickoff on purpose to get possession because they knew they don't want to give up another goal. It's their chance to do what the Knights did early on in this game. So you called it. It's exactly what happened there. And they almost got a goal as a result of it. The Knights did get that goal line save, but it was close. Banger off the crossbar out. That's going to be cleared by ZPS. In that final 10 seconds, Spacestation's really going to have to crack down if they don't want to give away game number 1 to the Knights. It's looking less and less likely, although they do have a chance here. They pushed up a little bit too far. With no boost, this might drop down onto the ground here. And that'll be game number 1 to the Knights, James, as they started off with just 3 punches to the face.
Yeah, those kickoff goals were the difference. You had mentioned that the Knights are very good on kickoff, and they showed it in this game. First minute, that's when they got all of their goals. And so Spacestation, they started to recover. They started to pick up momentum, started to pick up the pace near the end of that game. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them bounce back in these following games and kind of have a better start. You just can't in a single game give up that many kickoff goals and still expect to win. Yeah. Generally 1 is bad enough, but to have multiple, you're really setting yourself at a disadvantage. And that lets a team, especially when they score that early, to try to play in a way that results in melting the most time off the clock as possible. And that's what we saw the Knights do.
The key thing here is what's going to be the answer, because it does look like SSG has figured, okay, well, we've got a temporary answer. We already know how to deal with these kickoffs. We saw it on that last kickoff in game number 1 there, where they took possession of it. But now it is up to the Knights to say, well, we know you figured us out. Do they have another backup plan? You're talking about McLando having, that whiteboard ready. Does he have the backup for people figuring out those kickoffs? This is where we're going to find out as game number 2 drops. There's a kickoff off the bat. That's how Rocket League works. So we're going to see if they can do some magic again off those kickoffs, because I've seen it in the grid, and I've seen them adapt pretty well. If not, they're just going to have to resort to that speedy play that we talked about before the game started.
And that was a very good kickoff this time for Spacestation. They've got a scoring chance off the bat, almost from Arsenal.
Yeah, it's kind of the same idea we saw in game number 1 with that final kickoff, where they kind of lose it to their side intentionally, ultimately meaning you won possession. We saw it again here, and that's really what you want to do, and it's going to be a back and forth between the 2 teams to try to do that now. Maybe if we get another kickoff, we'll see how close this one is. It's a much better start for Spacestation, though. James, they haven't let in 3 goals at this point.
Yeah, it's a much better start. I think they'll take not getting scored on 3 times in the first minute, and I think this is when we start to see Spacestation really amp up. They're such a quality team. They're so fast, so speedy, and when they start connecting on their demos, it's almost impossible to get wins when Spacestation is playing their game.
You see how physical they're getting too on their way out right now. The boost steals, it's bumps. Look at, like, Redo's just sitting there. He's not leaving the play. And that's how much he trusts his teammates too. He's like, okay, I see both of you guys there ready to move the ball up. I'm going to sit on our opponent's side of the field and see if I can just bump them.
Oh, big miss. Oh, that was huge miss. Typical, you know, they get a free one here. This one was really hard hit, and you see the reason why is because the player, instead of jumping and going for the read, they were trying to go up the back wall. And maybe you just let it bounce down and go for the read at that point, because they had to drive around. They had to drive up the post and around. They couldn't take a straight line at it because of where the goal was.
It's tough though,
Didn't get there
because
fast enough.
Because being that defender on the goal line when you're not on the wall, that's so tough to read, and you don't know if another player is up taking that shot already. So I guess you try to get a better vantage point on it, but you're right. It did cause them to be a little bit slower to it. Definitely always a tough call, scary spot whenever that ball's coming straight down off that backboard. Oh, beat back it up there, pass. Space Station working that midfield. It's been a tough time for the Knights to break out past that midfield, in all honesty, and maintain any kind of possession. That straight shot should be saved a little bit closer than he probably wanted it to. Doko almost let it slip in. CPS playing it super slow. I think he's out of boost.
Well, that was a smart play regardless from ZPS. When you're in that situation, the last thing you want to do is hit it downfield and give up the ball, especially when you have no boost. But that demo is going to do wonders. There it is, that physical play.
Yeah.
We know Space Station has it in their back pocket, and they pull it out for this goal.
It honestly really is the physical play. You've seen it since the beginning of this. You saw a bit of it shine out in game number 1. Game number 2 has been no different story here. Again, we had a perfect camera just to watch Reynolds kind of virtuoso his way on that side of the field, just sitting there. You know that's going to continue throughout the rest of the series, and the Knights have to be very aware that, well, they're not going to be letting up on those bumps and demos anytime soon. So get used to it, deal with it, find a plan for it. Ooh, that might... No, just out the corner. That bounce, it could have been a shot, too. All 3 players pushed up. That play is going to die. What a touch from Arsenal. And I think he caught that last defender, ZPS, without boost. ZPS kind of wanted that. He wanted the touch as well. And it went straight back out to Arsenal. Cheeky touch.
Yeah, no, that was a great touch from Arsenal. Arsenal had him played the whole way. He read ZPS like a book. Space Station coming out swinging, and this is really what I was expecting all along. That first game, the Knights had such a good kickoff game. We'll see if they can bring that back, because I think they're gonna need more of that to get past Space Station.
But you also don't want to rely on it, because a majority of the game is played not on kickoffs. Typical one for that flip reset bump. He'll miss and give a chance to the Knights to create a play. The demo there, but no follow-up on the other side. That's going to be in the hands of Space Station again. Oh, another demo. He just jumps and bounces on him. And that'll buy him a little bit more time at midfield to get themselves ready here. That's going to be a chance, though. DPS finds that one just sinking a little bit below that crossbar and cranks her home from a beautiful pass from Sosa.
Yes. Sosa was up so quickly. ZPS ready for that ball across the middle, but you see Sosa racing to that in the corner. It was a good kick. And the Knights, they see a glimmer, but it's going to take a lot of work to open up that exit.
I actually do like the salsa. He was doing like a little salsa dance in the air to get up there too. Were you all right with 30 seconds? It was incredible. Sosa incredible. 30 seconds left will be not a lot of time. You're right, James, for them. The pressure is on now. Otherwise, they will forfeit this game to Space Station to make it 1-1 in the series. And I think at this point, the play might be dead. All momentum's gone. They're not going to be able to get 2. Maybe 1 if they carry it, but well, certainly not 2. In game number 2, we'll go to Space Station Gaming. James.
Ooh.
James.
Get one for the road. One for the road.
What is this pass, though?
Arsenal is crazy.
No way.
Man. They're nuts. They're nuts. They're freestyling.
Gnarly.
That reminds me of the NRG goal at the World Championship back in, what was that, season 2 with Sad Jr. and Jacob. This is the 2020 version.
That was so beautiful. What a beautiful. It was funny too because it, like, the goal didn't mean anything, but it was by far
It was
the best
the
goal.
The game's over. It's such a shame that goal did not mean anything. Literally 0 seconds. They're up by what, 2? And then they score that. But that was a pretty goal. And that's how good players are now, where you can, if a player can see that their teammate is moving at a consistent speed, they can make that pass. Because that's where it's all done, right? The pass.
Yeah, the pass
was just perfect.
Yeah,
so
you want that shooter to be making as little adjustments as possible. So you're right. The pass was great. SSG looked great. James, you're saying this is the team that you wanted to see before. Is it just due to the physical play? Is it those kind of plays? Like, what was it specifically? You're like, that's what I thought we'd see in game 1.
I mean, it's any time that Sypical gets space, it's going to be trouble for a team. Anytime Arsenal is upfield when Spacestation has possession, it's going to be a difficult play. Anytime that you're sitting in net with low boost against Spacestation, it's going to be tough because you're going to be a demo target. And then also we saw what Arsenal did to ZPS in the corner. He just read him. So Spacestation is just all around an incredibly dangerous team that you just can't give an inch to because they take a mile. And we saw that happen in this game. And what really worked for the Knights in game 1 was those kickoff plays. But that's something that's very difficult to repeat.
Well, you also don't want to rely on that to be your entire gameplay. That's great to have that under your belt because, if you can just beat out players off the beginning on those kickoffs and get some early goals, well, we saw what happened. That was game number 1. They got those early goals. And even though Space Station got a few back, it was too much of a mountain to climb by that point, and that buffer was enough for them to get a win on game 1. So maybe they get something here, some early goals off the bat, but I think at this point, I want to say safely that SSG has kind of countered and balanced out these kickoffs in their favor. Look at that. Every time they're losing to win the ball, and that's 3 in a row now we've seen them do that. So the Knights are going to be looking at what's happening in the rest of the game here. Oh my God! That would have been incredible. I think that might have been going in too itself. But the save, the shot, it was all incredible. And the counter is going to be Sypical on the shot, and a goal for Space Station when it looked like the Knights
phenomenal
might have had the early.
Phenomenal. This type of, again, we see it, close range passing plays where they get the perfect flick over to the player in the middle. But that all started off that save. Reynolds making a massive save to kickstart that opportunity. Space Station looking incredible so far. The Knights find themselves behind early.
And more physical play. We expected it. That's something they started in game 1. Dove into head first in game number 2. And now the Knights probably cursing that one didn't go in, because that was a great shot too, but you're right, that pre-jump save from Reynolds.
Yeah,
critical
sure
in the counter.
That was key. And now Rodoko gets demoed on the back. Soso will blast this across the side. Good catch from Sypical. Going for the air dribble. The demo as well. Sypical, like I said before, you really just can't give him any space whatsoever. So deadly on the air dribbles. Sypical. The speed as well. It's going to find back to Reynolds. Reynolds. We'll leave that for Arsenal. That was a lot of time that Space Station had.
And the Knights couldn't make anything of it. CPS tried to just pressure it. He had no boost. That's a shot.
Oh my goodness.
Off the bar and out of finish from CPS. No, another save. There's another shot.
Going to
Charlie again. And the Knights can't catch a break.
The Knights. Crossbar, save. Space Station's defense, it's like they're made out of vibranium, adamantium, whatever you want to call it. Indestructible.
Yeah, I don't know how one didn't go in during that 10-second excitement. And we'll have to try again. The Knights only down by 1.
This is tough. Arsenal. We've seen him so many times in those situations. Get demos, get 50s. Now a Space Station. They read that off the arc. Arsenal, he doesn't even rotate out. He was upfield for so long.
That's something we saw from Reynolds too before. It's confidence. In all honesty, it's confidence from Space Station, knowing that their teammates will be more than enough to hold off if they need to rush back there. But if not, hey, at least I'm ready for the shot. And the decision was the correct decision.
Double flip reset from Sypical. You don't really see that too often where a player can have enough space to go for a double flip reset. It is common, or more common, I'd say, off kickoff. Sypical. That would have been a highlight play. And ZPS jumped for that ball. Rodoko will get the save. Arsenal with a boost steal in the corner. Sypical got a lot of height on that one and almost bumped ZPS out. This is pressure mounting now. Space Station have been doing such a good job getting the ball in the corner. Really siphoning out the boost of the Knights and then pouncing on top of their defense.
I mean, that's the thing. If you can stay up there.
Reynolds pre-jumped that.
He's been pre-jumping everything.
Yeah.
It's been working.
I mean, we've been seeing pre-jump plays out of Space Station. That one pre-jump goal to end the last game. Space Station, they're picking up the pace. They're certainly playing at a different pace than they were in game one. Musty fake goes for the dunk. A rebound out to Arsenal. Now Reynolds, see a double commit him and Arsenal, but doesn't really hurt him at all.
And that's what I'm saying, man. Every single move they're making here, their positioning, their touches, it's built off confidence. And a confident SSG is a dominant SSG. The Knights are struggling to find an answer to these two goals in game number 3.
Oh, this is a good double tap ball, but Arsenal was so fast to deny that. The line was there. That would have been the read. I'm sure of it. That would have been a goal had Arsenal not broken up the backboard, which is something that most teams are so good at nowadays. You very rarely get those double tap balls unless you've completely boost starved the defense or you're in a situation where you can really hammer it high off the backboard.
Opportunity for Rodoko? No, look how quick SSG moves that out. The Knights are looking for everything at this point. That might not have been the best touch, because now Sypical has a chance for a double tap. Pushed out Arsenal to keep the pressure on. What a read from him. And all they need to do is keep the pressure now. 17 seconds left, 2 goals up. Just keeping the Knights away from their side of the net, and they'll be fine, but there's an opportunity now with 12 seconds left for the Knights to be able to tie this one up for an overtime.
Yeah, ZPS, that touch right there used up that last bit of boost. Sypical was surprised, thought he was going to run out of boost sooner, but ZPS stretched for that last play, and now we'll see if the Knights can get another kickoff goal. We saw a lot of it in game 1. Game 3 rather. They needed it, and it didn't come.
Yeah, they missed the follow-up. They got the demo. It should be put straight down. It will. SSG taking game number 2, and a bit tighter of a match than we saw in the last one.
By the scoreline, yeah, but it really didn't seem like the Knights were as competitive in this game. We saw a lot of pressure from Space Station. They were controlling that game until those final minutes, the final 12 seconds where we saw that first goal from the Knights. But they were really doing a great job keeping possession. We saw them winning those 50s, denying the backboards, and then the saves. The saves from Space Station in this series, they have been so difficult to beat on the goal line. And I'm sure that's got to be frustrating for the Knights.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think it's a mixture of everything. You look at the physical play, you look at the boost steals, you look at the defense where like you finally have opportunities. There was that 10-second scramble, or we went crazy that you're like, it's got to go in at some point. There's so many opportunities, but it was bar, save, as you said. And all of that will start to weigh down. I did see a bit of gusto from the Knights at the end when they knew it was do or die. There's 10 seconds left, 20 seconds left. Let's just go. I think that speed is something that they just need to go for. You're playing an SSG that I mentioned before is confident, that are going to be going for crazy things. They're pre-jumping half of your shots. At this point, all you have to do is the same back. Otherwise, you are going to lose this series. The SSG is most certainly looking like the team with momentum in their favor at this point. So the Knights, I would honestly like to just see speed just go fast. Literally just go fast and try to catch SSG in a spot where they don't have boost. And then maybe you might be able to get yourself onto their side and get their boost and shut down that defense that's shutting you out. So speed is what I want to see from the Knights. They were definitely shut down on a lot of that because of SSG.
Arsenal is a tough player though when you're trying to play fast, because he's the type of player that will throw in fakes and throw in delays. And if you try to play too fast against Arsenal specifically, he can make you look silly. So I think though, it's a worthy strategy. Pick up the pace, see if you can just go ball chase mode and beat Space Station to the ball, because they are a quick team. They're a tough team to play. So
well, that's what I want to say though. Is I mean, you look at you said it before. You give someone like Sipical space too. That's another problem. So it's you're doomed either way, right? If you slow it down so you don't get faked, or you speed it up so you meet him in the air and don't give him a chance to do what he needs to do. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't, I suppose, at this point. So I'd like to see them just try it rather than get stuck on their own end of the field.
Oh, that was a cool camera angle, but we missed the kickoff.
That's all right. No one got a goal.
You're fired.
James, take over.
All right. I can do that. This is my domain.
You can cast and run the camera at the same time?
I'll do it. I'll do it all. All right, Sipical. Good catch. The flick underneath the crossbar. That was a great save from Rodoko. Sipical pinpoint accuracy. Now Arsenal off the wall will have that passed backwards. I like that. And then that challenge from Sipical was so good. Sipical, you saw what he was doing. He went to go for a 50 so that when the ball got hit back into him, he could get his flip back on the flip reset. That demo from ZPS. Sosa landed and hit that ball. Quality response there from the Knights.
Yeah. He was looking to pinch that straight in off the ground, just in the bottom corner, just tuck her away, but he landed just a little bit too soon. And went just short. That's been the story of the Knights offense, is just short of all their shots. An inch or two in any direction with a lot of these shots, and they'd be fine. A lot of pressure from SSG right now. Shot went wide. The Knights still, with boost, have possession. An air dribble is not enough. Reynolds on the rotate back, just intercepts, cuts it off, and look how fast they transition back down the other way.
That's a good read. Yeah, a quick transition. Sipical didn't want to slow the play down whatsoever. You see that first touch, gets back down to the ground. Rodoko streaking backwards. That's a really awkward position to be in as a defender. And it looked like you see him turn to grab that small pad. You saw him turn for that. So that tells me that he must have been on empty. He was on zero boost. And he was trying to play a bit too fast. Make the read.
And there's no way they knew that was happening. That transition was so quick. Like Sipical pounced on the opportunity to send that clear down so fast. They just got caught off guard.
So Space Station, they're looking very good still. And that infield pass play broken up. You see how quickly Space Station is jumping in those passing lanes. And that's off that sealing it in. Calculated.
I guess you take those. That was definitely a 50-50 that was not favorable for the Knights. You hope maybe it hits the crossbar at least, but that goes straight into the net. SSG takes the lead off of that one, and it's the speed right now. Even though the Knights are trying to go fast, SSG is just so much faster. It's intimidating.
Space Station is super speedy. All those players. And it's tough too when you've got unpredictable players. Arsenal is probably the most unpredictable player I think out there. But Reddle's also tough to keep an eye on. Sipical, he's just so good. He takes the space and has mastery, where he'll just go for a double tap, hit it where you have no chance of blocking it, and score on you. But when you just talk about the mental aspect, Reddles and Arsenal are tough players to get a read on.
Yeah, it's been tough. There's been a couple touches from the Knights that haven't looked the cleanest, and no follow-up there too. That's definitely causing them
Flip reset.
the pain. But did he? I think he just slid off of that one.
Nah, this is a flip reset from Arsenal.
Did he get the
Hits it all
shot?
the way downfield, then boom, got the shot. He was able to redirect it enough. I don't know how much the flip played into it, but you can see him. You know, he immediately triggered it. So he did get the change in trajectory. Influencing the trajectory of that ball. And that's how good Arsenal is with air roll. And the Space Station squad doesn't really look like they're breaking a sweat here.
And the Knights have had like maybe 3 opportunities, I think. And all of them have been met by 1 or even 2 defenders pretty handily.
It's looking good for Space Station. Final moments coming to a close. Flip reset attempt didn't pan out. The Knights gonna have to dig deep. Backboard attempt. Play broken up by Sosa. Now ball downfield. Sipical will pop it high. Gives up possession. Infield pass. And they tried to do what Space Station did before, it looked like, doing that infield passing play to hit a teammate in the air.
Oh, that's going to be a free goal. We take those. I don't know if it's too late at this point, but a miss here in the corner by Arsenal just gives a free roller to Rodoko. They work so hard for all their goals, all their shots. They get stopped by all of them, and that's the one they finally get given.
But give credit to Rodoko. He saw Sipical coming in. Sipical wave dashed into that ball trying to hit it, and he just got bodied by Rodoko. And now double demo. Oh, so Arsenal standing up tall. There was 2 players out. He was all by himself. Still makes the stop.
I think his teammates are just kind of like hanging out right now while Arsenal just does whatever he wants.
Arsenal is going to take this downfield. Low on boost, actually, so he'll get the mid boost. And now come back. Sipical. Try to pop it around ZPS. Got to get one here, and they might. Off the backboard, and it's broken up. That breakup off the backboard was key. That one could have been a goal with 10 seconds left. But instead, Space Station hold on and survive, and now move within 1 game, moving on in the lower bracket.
They almost had some chances there at the end, though. That last minute hurrah was what I think they needed, but it also did look like SSG pulled the pedal off the gas just a little bit as well. So I don't expect SSG to give them that kind of space in the next game, but maybe the Knights have found a bit of a groove going into this potentially final game. SSG is now match point to move on to the grand finals on the upper side. And the Knights are most certainly, they look like they're just here and there having a touch or two that causes them a bit of pain. They've hit a few crossbars here that's caused a bit of pain. You know, it definitely feels like they're on the right path, but it's one of those days where there's those small things that just kind of all compound together to end up in a situation where you're losing these games. Still a chance if they can get those together, but it's looking less and less likely the more and more we see of Space Station.
Space Station, I think they're just getting warmed up. They were looking in control again in that game and in this series so far. The Knights, though, that only win that they got was because of their kickoff goals. Mm-hmm. That was really the reason. So now that Space Station has managed to shut that down, the Knights are having trouble figuring out how to get goals by this Space Station defense that continues to make plays. There was that mistake by Arsenal in the corner that allowed for that goal and allowed for them to get back, but that was really one of very few mistakes.
Yeah, and again, as I said, you don't want to rely on that. You want to start generating your own opportunities, but it's so hard because you see them go for double demos and still not be able to get a shot on the net. Our early attack from Space Station looking more and more likely like it's going to be a goal, and Reynolds comes out of nowhere, just materializes from the corner.
Look at this. Reynolds immediately goes up there was no hesitation. He's on the goal line. His first thought is to drive up the post. What is that? Man, Reynolds
Confidence.
And Arsenal, I'm telling you, these guys, their brain works different. And Arsenal off kickoff. Space Station. The three-person passing play. Reynolds pops it up to Sipical. Sipical off the ceiling and hits Arsenal in the air.
They're just built different. You guys are.
That was
feeling confident.
crazy.
The thing is, I was almost getting desensitized to what they're doing because they consistently do this crazy stuff.
Dude, they're what side of the bed they wake up on? All right, well, this is a stabilization goal for Sosa. And the Knights needed this. It was starting to get out of hand. Sipical tried to do the wraparound save.
That's the confidence.
I mean, he was going for it. And you can't really blame him. But the Knights do stabilize now. And this is important for them. This is it. Otherwise, Space Station will get to the grand finals. The Knights will still have a chance in the lower bracket, but you really feel like if the Knights are going to win this tournament, they've got to win it here.
Well, I mean, yeah, because then you go through that lower coming off a loss like this saying, we don't know what to do. You don't want to bring that into your next series.
Reynolds with a ton of boost as well. Going for the double tap. That was so close. And he gets the corner boost steal.
Yikes.
Arsenal into the corners. EPS trying to slow him down. Space Station putting on a all-out assault right now. Stealing corner boost. Keeping their defense pressed back. And that chip to the corner. Sipical goes for the backboard. Rebound out to Arsenal. The light tap. Arsenal gets around it, and it's a save from Sosa. Sosa, I don't know what that was. How did he keep that out?
He just got lucky enough that shot had not as much power to it as those shots usually do. And just rushed back to save it from that angle too. Difficult. They keep themselves at a 1-goal difference to SSG. And another shot even came right after that. There's no break on the threat.
There was a team bump there. Sosa, big time bump. 1v1 situation. Reynolds and Arsenal had double committed. And then Sosa picks this ball up, and that was exactly the right play. Immediately getting the ball popped, floating towards net, and going for the bump play. The Knights, maybe they can do it.
We'll see. I've still seen a lot of Space Station's offense looking solid. That's a pass. Reynolds off the backboard. Look how close Arsenal is. He waits for the miss. And quickly, Space Station takes the lead back.
And that flip reset pass from Sipical. And Sipical, he's having a great series. That was excellent card control, getting the flip reset, and then passing it on the nose. Off kickoff, Space Station has gotten much better as well.
Yeah.
But the Knights are keeping it close. They're fighters.
Look how far back that third man is, too. It's so different than SSG's offense. We have all three players in the box at times, just confident that they'll be able to get to that ball quick.
Well, Space Station is just a type of team. Oh, that was a big save from Reynolds. But Space Station is a team where they're intimidating. Their speed, their aggression. So you have a tendency to want to space out and try to play as secure as possible. But Space Station makes it tough.
We've had some more chances, though, from the Knights.
Oh, that's a great
There's not going to be one there, though.
And that was a good look from Space Station. Now a demo, but Sipical ran out of boost. Arsenal's the only one back. We've seen him multiple times in that situation now.
Yeah.
Going for the ground pinch. Ground pinch. Didn't pan out. Sipical again low on boost. Arsenal in the corner. Taking it around ZPS. Gets dunked on by Reynolds. Verdoko out of boost after that play. A demo by Reynolds as well. This is a chance for Space Station. ZPS gets bumped by Reynolds. And Reynolds has no boost, but still turns to challenge.
Yeah, he's just hunting him. We saw that in game 1 too, where he just kind of sits there. He's like, my objective right now is to get physical. And it doesn't matter if I'm on the play on defense. I'm here to cause trouble for you.
And he's causing trouble indeed. This is an awkward ball for Reynolds, trying to pick up some small pads. And we'll be patient, let the ball come to him. Final 30 seconds now. The Knights trying to move on to the grand finals. Space Station ready to close it out. That pinch will send it deep downfield. Sipical controlling it. Flicks it by Sosa. Sipical up to Arsenal. Arsenal off the backboard. Where's the cleanup? The shot from Reynolds is saved. Counterattack opportunity. Verdoko.
Go for the physical. Look at it.
Oh, he didn't get the wave dash though. And that slight mistake slowed down the play, but there's still a chance. Infield pass from Sosa. Verdoko gets blocked. Ball still airborne. Verdoko with the 50, and that'll touch. Space Station get the win. They're moving on to the grand finals.
That was the right idea from the Knights at the end there. You saw that final thing. I think it was Sosa on the wall or something. You knew someone had that ball up the wall, and his teammate just went straight for the demo. He was already down the other end of the field looking for that last defender, trusting his teammate would get some sort of dribble or hard shot towards that end of the field. But you're right. He just kind of lost a bit of that momentum on the carry down there, and the bump was missed as well. So that play kind of fizzled up there. Right idea, a little bit too late. But of course, you know, the Knights put up a fight, and I think you were right on the scoreline as well.
Yeah, I was thinking that would be the case. Space Station, they're looking really good this tournament. Took down Rogue 4-2. Now taking down the Knights 4-1. They're moving on to the grand finals. The Knights going to go down to that losers final, and they'll be playing the winner of Rogue versus E United, which we will be having coming up shortly after the break. And you know what? We're going to go to a quick break.
Let's just go to the break.
And we'll be right back.
We're back. Rocket League Summit 2. What's up, guys? Welcome back. I am Dazarin. We just got finished looking at Space Station Gaming take on the Pittsburgh Knights, and man, was it a series. James and Leaf with me. They ended up calling the action. Starting with James, guys, how did you feel about that set?
You know, it honestly turned out exactly the way I thought it would. There was the start of the series was the kickoff goals for the Knights, but after that game, it honestly wasn't that close. Even in the games where it said the scoreline said it was close, I just didn't feel it was that close. Space Station was in full control.
Yeah, I think you're right. There were too many, in my opinion, too many small mistakes that really compounded into a lot of things for the Knights. You know, I saw some really awkward recoveries from them a couple times, some just straight up misses. You know, it looked like the Knights were trying to do some of the pre-jumps that we saw from SSG, but just weren't connecting with them the same way SSG was. And that's really, I think, the difference that happened. You know, you had so much more control from SSG because they were making all those touches. The recoveries were incredible, and just gave them a lot more speed on the field. So Knights were, from the get-go, just playing a from behind game.
Oh, look at that. Flip reset from Arsenal to score. Do you feel like SSG, I mean, it seemed like they were really comfortable. Oh my God.
They were pre-jumping. They were pre-jumping. Look at this play. Arsenal was off the ceiling. I didn't even see that from the camera angle I was on the first time. He was literally going off the ceiling. I was like, how is he so high up in the air? They were just having fun that series. That was absolutely phenomenal from
and with
Space
us
Station.
Is Chrome from SSG. He's gonna help us. I mean, Chrome, like, your team is pre-jumping, flipping around. You guys are actually just having fun.
I mean, yeah. I mean, outside of that first game where we just botched, like, I think 3 kickoffs in a row, we were just feeling our thing, man. It seemed like PK, they weren't really doing too much to us, so we got to do whatever we want. And then once we felt comfortable, it's just like the guys just wanted to have fun that last game.
Now, well, I want to ask on the fun. Sorry, is like, Is that like something that you can just like employ from the beginning, or do you want to like? Because to me, it looked like pure confidence, right? Like a legitimate look, like you're like, yo, I'm just gonna go for this, and then it worked. Is that something that would be worthwhile, like employing from the get go, or is that just too unsafe to try against any other team until you know you have that space?
Personally, I don't like it when they're having too much fun, but it didn't seem like we were too stressed out. I guess like we weren't giving in bad goals. Like we were overcommitting, but then we weren't getting punished that much. So I feel like the wasteland game, they were catching up on us, but we held it through. So I feel like I personally don't like it, but hey, if they feel like that confident, I mean, you can't complain, I guess.
All right. Well, Chrome, there's 3 teams left that you guys might have to play. You got the Knights who you just beat, Rogue, and E United. Who do you think is going to be making it all the way through back to the grand finals?
That's tough. I mean, PK's a very capable team, but Rogue's looking pretty good today outside of their match with us. I'm going to go with Rogue. I think they're probably going to make it to the finals.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Chrome, we don't get to talk to you that much here. How are you doing as we're approaching the holiday season? You got any festive activities planned?
I mean, outside of this event, I'm taking a vacation, having Christmas at my girlfriend's house, and that's about it, really. I don't know what else is planned, but just going to get prepped for the grid coming up in January and the next regional. So just taking a few weeks off, and then that's about it.
You going to go sledding?
Maybe. We'll see. I have not done that before, so that'd be interesting.
You've never sled before?
No, I moved to Connecticut in August, and I'm up here for the first time in winter, I guess you could say.
Well,
so
we'll get a sled or a tube. I would recommend a tube. And go off
Tube probably, yeah.
Tube? Okay.
Yeah.
Just so I don't die, I guess.
No, you know what? No. You know what? I want to see him get one of the magic carpets. Like there's just like a sheet of plastic.
Yeah,
and it's chaos.
Yeah.
I want to see that happen.
Well,
as long as I don't die, I guess I'll be happy.
Yeah, we don't want him to get
no, Chrome. I think you'll be fine. And I wish you happy holidays and good luck in the rest of the tournament, as we are going to go to a short break here really soon. More Rocket League bracket action coming to you. This is Rocket League Summit 2, and we will be right back.